There is only one God. The
messenger, the people did not accept them, and so forth. So the focus of these stories on the prophets and the messengers. So this is type number one. And inshallah, we will bring up some portion of these stories in this series, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. The second type is the stories of normal people, like me and you. Like the story of the youth of the cave, Fityatul Kahf. They are people like you and me. They were not prophets and messengers. The story of the companions of Jannah, Ashabul Jannah. They were not prophets or messengers. No, they were regular people like you and me. And that is why the Quran refuses the idea that you try to find out the names, the location, or the time of where that story took place. Because what? It could happen at any time. So that's the second type of stories that were mentioned. And inshallah, we will choose a lot of these stories to tell bi'idhnillahi ta'ala in our series, in the episodes to come. The third type is the events that occurred when the Prophet ﷺ was delivering his message to the people in Mecca and the people in Medina, the 23 years. The story of the Battle of Badr, the story of the Battle of Hunayn, the story of Hadith al-Ifk, the slander against our mother, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with her, Aisha radiallahu anha, and so on and so on. And inshallah we will talk about this as well. Maybe we'll get one or two of these stories. Just for you to realize, brothers and sisters in Islam, I will, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, follow the method of the Quran of relating the stories to you. I will not basically stick to a time. I will just choose certain stories from the Quran to convey a message and to convey and deliver a message to you bi'idhnillahi ta'ala in the episodes to come. But very quickly, before you go, because I need to define the guidelines by which I will bi'idhnillahi ta'ala explain these stories for you. I rely mainly on the Tafsir ibn Kathir, Ibn Jarir al-Tabari, rahimahumullah, and we know that these books sometimes they have Isra'iliyat. And very quickly in the time that I have, Isra'iliyat, because a lot of these stories were also told in the Old Testament and the New Testament, in the people of the book, Torah wal-Injil. So some of the scholars of tafsir imported some of that into the books of tafsir. I want to make this clear from now that inshallah the Israelites are divided into three types. A type that is totally accepted, which is the hadith that the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam narrated in the Sunnah, whether in Sahih Bukhari or Sahih Imam Muslim, or another book of hadith that was authenticated by a scholar of hadith. For example, the story of al-Ghulam wal-Rahib, al-Ghulam wal-Sahir, the boy and the king. The story, even so, it's Isra'iliyat, but it was told in Sahih Muslim. هذا الحديث في Sahih Muslim. Also we have the story of the people of the cave, the people of Raqim, the people who went inside a cave and a huge rock fall down, and on and on. So these are accepted because it has an authentic chain of narration to the Prophet ﷺ. The second type, that we do not belie nor we believe. We do not belie nor we believe. Which is what? Nabi ﷺ told us that if the children of Israel speak to you, do not believe them, do not belie them. And normally these stories, they go back, the chain of narration goes to a companion or a predecessor. A companion or a predecessor. So if I tell you one of these accounts, I will warn you inshallah regarding this and let you know that this account is basically Isra'iliyat, that we do not belie nor we believe. Should we narrate them? Yes. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, حَدِّثُوا عَنْ بَنِي إِسْرَائِيل. Talk about the children of Israel. Brothers and sisters in Islam, the third type of Isra'iliyat, and this concept is so important, is the type that is totally rejected, which has no authentic chain of narration, and it contradicts our creed, it contradicts our deen. So inshallah, we will keep away from this bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. This episode is an introduction to the series, the best of stories. Inshallah, very quickly, I still have 2 minutes. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, the next episodes, we're going to talk about why the stories of the Quran are important. And then after that, we'll go through the series of stories that talked about the story of creation, the creation of the universe, the creation of Adam, the story of Adam and Satan, and after that coming down to earth. Insha'Allah, it will be a very pleasant series. Just hang in there, but keep up with me, because if you miss one, you may not catch the messages that were told in these stories. Just imagine, if you comprehend the stories that were told in the Quran, you will then have achieved third of the Quran in understanding. Just imagine that when you hear these stories told to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who told them to you in the Quran. He narrated them to you in the Quran. Brothers and sisters in Islam, inshallah, the next episode, we're going to talk about 12 benefits behind the telling or the narrating or the narration of stories in the Quran. Till the next episode of the best of stories. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
There is only one God, La ilaha illallah, Lord of both the earth and sky, who knows all the answers to where, what and why. There is only one God, La ilaha illallah. I've seen the perfection of all creation in every creature and leaf, and I don't understand any woman or man who denies the one true belief. There is only one God, La ilaha illallah.